Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Thou son of Vasudeva, the supreme bliss of your mother Devaki, the destroyer of the evil forces of Kamsa and Chandra. To thee, O Krishna, as Guru and God, we salute. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 18 and 19. We have subtitled it, The Knowable Forms of God. God can be known. And what are the forms? In the preceding verses he said, fools deride me who embody myself. They don't know my real nature as the entity that is responsible for this whole creation and as the Lord of all beings. So here we have the idea that the Lord does embody. And those who do not accept that the infinite can become finite, they are of vain hopes, vain knowledge, vain actions, and they become restless. They are of the demonic type, and what they do is contrary to human nature. And then the Lord further says, those who know that the Lord does embody, they are called the great souled ones. And they worship me, constantly worshipping, saluting, and with steadfastness, they finally attain to knowledge of my real being. And there are some who worship the Lord in his multiformed, you can say, aspect, that the Lord is in multiform. There are some who see the unit in all, the one in the many, and they worship that. There are some who worship God as being separate from me. Though we are linked, though we are identified, yet there is a kind of a thin veil that separates me from the divine. These are the ones who say, I want to taste sugar. I don't want to be sugar. So they do keep a slight distinction in order to worship. And then the Lord keeps on enumerating the various aspects of embodiment. And we might think, oh, the Lord is speaking about just material things which have embodied as humans. No. He embodies in the mantras, in the sacrifices, in the oblations, in the fire, in everything. And he also says that I am the father of this universe, the mother, the grandfather, etc. So, human and non-human, material and immaterial, that is not material. Immaterial in the sense of not irrelevant, but so continuing this train, these present two verses gives us a wider idea of God's forms. Now, all these forms are knowable in the sense of we are used to seeing these things. And whatever we see is knowable, but right now in our mind, they are not associated with God. We've just got to associate these things with God, and then you are in a way worshipping Him, acknowledging the embodiment. Here he says in the 18th verse, I am the results of all actions. I am the nourisher, the Lord. I am the witness. I am the abode. I am the refuge. I am the friend. I am the origin, the dissolution, and the continuation of this universe, as well as I am that imperishable storehouse, along with being that imperishable seed of this whole universe. Now we get an idea of, okay, these are the various forms of God. We identify ourselves with the body, saying, this is mine. If my finger somehow is hurting, I'll say, oh my God, my finger is hurting and I'm feeling feverish. I am completely identified with my body. But that's only part of the story. When I go to deep sleep, my sense of identification goes somewhere else. Yeah, I see that I dreamt. Really? You dreamt? Okay. You're aware of those dreams if you remember them when you wake up. So some dreams you can remember, recollect. But the idea is, whatever happens within you, you are identified with it. Either this is mine, you have the idea of possession because you have the idea of I. And this idea is pervasive all over the body. So when God says, I am the nourisher, the master, the witness, you've got to understand that God is identifying himself or herself or itself, the reality, with the entirety of creation, with the past, the present, the future, the whole visible. We used to talk about the known universe, visible universe, and that's just a small fraction of the entirety of the universe. Most of the universe is just not known. It is expanding into what? Into itself. So we don't know. So we know only the known universe, and it is massive and massive. It's mind-boggling. The brain simply can't conceptualize those great distances. So God identifies itself with this known, the unknown, and the various levels in this universe. The subtle and the causal, all the various dimensions of the universe, God identifies itself with this. That's the reason why he says, I am. Not like we say, I am, Asmi, I am. No. God's I is different from this small puny I. So from that level, he is speaking of as I am the results of all actions. Now this means that God knows all your actions. Otherwise, he is not going to give you the results of the action accordingly. We complain, I had a bad deal, I had a raw deal, I had I was cheated of from this, that. Wait. Whatever you worked for, you will get it, definitely. And if you pray, you'll get a little extra. Okay. That God can't deny this. You have worked for it and you will receive it. Now, when I was saying God has to be omniscient because the work that I have done, the karma, the results come to me. It does not go to you. Otherwise, there is going to be a mix-up, a confusion. People will stop working. Why should I? I did all the hard work, I slaved, and the other guy gets all the results. This is an injustice. So, when we talk about the results of work, it means this. Okay, then he says, I am the nourisher, the bharta. Yeah. What happens is, we have certain things that are kind of kept with us so that we are nourished by those things. Either a material object or a non-material object. Okay. So anything that goes to nourish us, God is. It also means the sun and the moon and the rains and everything. They nourish the earth. They nourish us. It's a huge cycle. And that cycle is impelled by this nourisher. He sees when you are a creator, you've got to be responsible for what you do. Like if you're going to break this table, you're going to be responsible for getting scolding, or you pay for it, okay? Yeah. You've done, if you say, I have done this, yeah, but then you've got to be responsible for it. You need to protect it. That's what. When you say God is a creator, that God is responsible for protecting and nourishing this creation. Then he says, I am the master. The master, the Lord, yeah. Because there has to be a kind of a master in the sense of one who, you can say, knows this is mine. Like I say, this is my body. You say this is your body. God also says, this is my body. What? The entirety of creation. So that I am this body, I own this, possess this body, God also says. So I'm the master here, God also is a master in the cosmic sense. Oh yeah, it's getting better and better. And then he says, I am the witness. A master has to witness, has to know. And like I said, God knows, really God knows what karma we have done to give us appropriate results. So God has to know, He's omniscient. For that, God has to be a kind of a witness for everything. God is a witness of everything. The commentator says that He is the observer of all the things that creatures do. Yeah, there are some creatures who don't do anything. God is a witness. It's called a sakshi. Akshi is eyes, with eyes. So it's translated as can say witness, but one who is constantly watching us. Yeah, saying nobody, I'm alone, I'm lonely, I'm fed up. God will say, why? I'm there with you. I am the witness of all your, if you remember me, well, you're not going to get bored or feel lonely. Why? This is what the whole exercise is. And then he says, I am the refuge. Okay. The abode, sorry. And I am the abode. How does God be an abode? God creates the idea of an experiencer and the objects of experience also. So God has to contain both the experiencer, the subject, as well as the objects of experience, the objective world. That is the meaning of abode. So why should, but you wanted all these things. You wanted a piece of chocolate. Well, here it is. You've been praying for it. Oh Lord, give me a piece of chocolate. He's not going to get you a pumpkin. He's going to get you a chocolate. Maybe a big chocolate in the shape of a pumpkin. There, see, here, take it. So in that way, God is an abode. And then he says, I am the refuge. Where do you go? Yes, I have no one in this world. No, you're wrong. I have someone. You know, Holy Mother says, whenever you are in distress, remember you have a mother. And when another disciple says, are you the real mother? Saying, yes, I am your real mother. Yeah, amazing. So she is just echoing what she has said in the Bhagavad Gita. I am the refuge. Why do you worry about all these things? Come to me. I am the refuge. I'll give you shelter, as they say, where your sorrows will become dissipated. When you go to seek refuge, when you seek refuge in the Lord, when you seek refuge in your own ego, on your own strengths, and when that thing is crushed, your strength, your ego is crushed, that is the cause of sorrow. But when you take refuge in God, God dispels all that sorrow. Getting better and better. Here, see. So he says, I am the friend. Wonderful, isn't it? So I am that friend. Here the commentator says, a friend is one who helps without expecting any returns. Otherwise, what's a friend? Yeah, he's kind of just a business partner. Yeah, he just wants to see how much my share is. I'll help you as long as it's kind of the give and take. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. That's not friendship. A friend will go all the way. A friend will not judge you. A friend is going to comfort you in your darkest times. He will rejoice with you in your brightest time. A friend is a friend is a friend. That is what. So God is our friend. And he's saying, one who is the origin, the dissolution, as well as a continuation, obviously, of everything. Everything goes through these cycles of coming into being, staying for a while, and then disappearing or merging. And that thing which has merged emerges out in a different form. Repetitive, over and over again, from the smallest to the highest, are all these cycles of creation, preservation, and destruction going on over. God says, I am that, from the smallest to that. Even the cells in the body are going through these processes. We don't have to be saying, no, I am permanent. What's permanent? There's nothing like permanent. So then he says, I am the store, the storehouse. This is a place where you store things. You don't need them right now, but you'll need them in the immediate future or in the far future. So you store things. So where is that store? Where is your store? God. God is responsible as a nourisher to see that you have everything in the future. Oh yeah. If you are going to live for X number of years, God's going to see that you are going to live for X number of years. Okay. He's kept everything in store. Saying, I am empty. Yeah, you are empty, and God will fill it up. Like Sri Ramakrishna says that you are asked, like, all these parables that you kind of say, all these things, do you cogitate on it? Oh no. Actually what happens, I see the Divine Mother pushing heaps of knowledge through me. And he gives a illustration, like in the shops where they sell rice or paddy, as they say. One guy is measuring out the paddy to the customers. And in the old days, we had those scales, like you have a Statue of Liberty, like, yeah. So you hold. And then heaps are pushed from behind. As customers come and this guy is measuring it out and selling it out, a guy from behind keeps on pushing that heap of paddy or rice. So God also is saying, Divine Mother pushes all these things from behind. So that's the store. So constantly. And he says, I am that imperishable seed. What is the imperishable seed? That imperishable seed, it is undecaying by the very definition of imperishable. And that is, I am the seed of this whole world. As this it was. I am the seed of the whole world. Now, if you can understand, this seed is imperishable. That is, it sprouts up, continues, and then dissolves, but it does not die. So there is a continuity of this creation. Where did creation come from? What? Nobody asks such a question. Who am I? You have come from the previous I. Like this universe has come from the previous universe. What? Yeah. And this is what now, even some scientists are talking about the cyclic nature of things. When you call it something expanding from a center, where's the center? Center is everywhere. And then there's a kind of the word Big Bang is kind of a misnomer now. It's not used in academic circles. And it's in the media and amongst us, it's a bang. There's no bang, there's nothing. But something's expanding and something will kind of, they say, a big crunch. So the universe goes through cycles, like you have cycles everywhere. The cyclic nature is what this is. And it appears as it is permanent. And that's why the Vedas, there's a verse in the Vedas, say, Suryo Chandramaso Data Yata Purvama Kalpayat, that the God created the sun, moons, and everything from the previous creation, like it was in the previous creation. Because if you have a creation, you will have to have a creator. You cannot have a creator without creation. These, like as we have mentioned, these both things are one. Creator, creation. Creation is the creator. So, God is this universe. That's why you cannot separate the two things together and say, God is there and you are there. Sorry, that doesn't work. So here he's saying, I am that imperishable seed from where, because he's saying, I am that imperishable seed. It is I who constantly germinate myself in a way. Like us, we arise from those seeds. Everything in this universe arises from those fine forms, those seed forms. And it keeps on growing and growing and growing. Everything, God is that seed. What's the seed of the universe? What's the root of the universe? God. Oh God, really? Oh God, where are you? Why do you ask such things? It's here. This is the idea of Vedanta. So even this question that, who am I? Don't you know who you are? There you are. So when we see these things, we must be able to associate them with God. When we see all these cycles and the concepts, then what we know, we are in a way acknowledging that God is present here and now in our life, in the past, in the present, in the future, in everything that we do. In everything that we think, in everything that we talk, in everything. This is the multiforms of God. These are knowable. You know these things. These are the forms of God. The next verse is in the same vein. I'll read the Sanskrit of the 18th verse. Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi nivasa sharanam sruhed prabhava pralaya sthanam nidhanam bijam avyayam. So here, I am all these things. I am the results of actions. I am the nourisher. I am the master or Lord. I am the witness. I am the abode. I am the refuge or shelter. I am the friend. I am the origin, the dissolution, and the continuance of this universe. I am the storehouse of this universe, as well as I am its imperishable seed. So the moment you say imperishable seed, yeah, it's not going to perish. Nobody can destroy. None can destroy the indestructible. This is what the Upanishads also say. So the next verse is, O Arjuna, I give heat, I suck up and again pour down rain. I myself am nectar and death. I am the real and the unreal. I am there. So again, we have spoken about the cyclic nature of things. Everything is so perfectly balanced. So it's hot, yeah, and then amazing. Today we had rains in California, LA. Can you imagine? Shiva, an old, you can say, monk who passed away, he used to say, oh, rains in California means liquid sunshine. So you say, tapami, I give heat. You see, what happens is, God is so inextricably linked with all the processes that are happening within us and without us, that is outside us. Extremely you can say intimate. You know, Swami Vivekananda says, to know a chair in one of his essays, obviously there was a chair kept for him. To know the chair, I have to know it through myself. I have to know everything through God. Wonderful, isn't it? What's that God business? Yeah, no, God business, how is the God business? No. You have to know everything through consciousness. So he's saying, I have to know everything through that consciousness. So the consciousness is the nearest of the near. The chair is knowable, but it is at a distance. But I know it through only my consciousness. And that's why everything becomes a noble form of God. There it is. Tapamyaham aham varsham. Varsha is rain. And then he's saying, Nigrahani utsrija. I pull back, kind of retract things, and once again give it back. Again, he's speaking about the cyclic nature. It's not only, see, these weather patterns are so intricately linked by saying, I withhold rain and again shower down the rain. He's speaking about all the other, you can say, processes linked to the rain, to wind, and to clouds, and to ice, and snow, and then, runoffs and rivers and everything. And then the whole oceanic belts of water that run round the oceans. You think, the water, beautiful water. Oh, there are huge currents taking and bringing heat and cold. All the other conveyor belts of heat and cold in the oceans. And now these things are getting disrupted because of our stupid ideas of exploitation. If that stops, you had it. So this whole universe, this whole world is kept alive by all these cyclic processes that are going on. If they stop, you stop. Simple as that. They are going on, you can go on. So this is what he's saying. Amritam chaiva mrityuscha. I am immortality, actually. He's saying immortality. Amritam, not nectar. I am immortality and I am death. What is immortality? It's kind of ridiculous. Everybody's dying. Yeah, I'm death also. Immortality, the life in all beings. You see, when you are in a body, and then from this body, you cast off like worn out garments your old body and take up a new body. But there has to be life there to be transferred from one to another. This is the great transmigration of soul, the reincarnation. If there was no life, then you take up another body, it's a dead thing. So you don't want to, you've already had death and then you go. So this life itself, there's a life in the universe. This whole universe is made up of two primal matter or entities, as you say. One is space. It's called Akash. It forms the basis of all the formed things. Everything that has name, has form, has emerged from space. And this is a wonderful thing. Yes, this is what even now you can say it is not diametrically opposite to what science is saying. Space expanded, we are expanding, space expanded. So Akash is that primal matter. So from space has emerged all forms. And what enlivens all those forms? Prana. So everything is a combination of this Akash, space and prana, the life force, life forces. there is a new study that says even the mountains has been created by old life forms. Yeah, plate tectonics and graphite, etc., whatever. The whole ocean was converted by life, the great oxygenation, you can say, event. Everything, this world, nice blue planet, beautiful, it looks, isn't it beautiful? You know who has converted it into a beautiful planet? Life itself. Yes, just life. And we think those life forms, bacteria, no, they're part of the whole thing. Yeah, you turn the ignition of your car, that's because of that life, old life, that is still part of your life. So, it is life that has sculpted this whole world. And it's made it so beautiful. This is what it is saying. Everything that has life is this immortality, the immortal amongst the relatively immortal things. Amazing. Amritya, Amrita, the non-dying. I am the immortality. And I am also that. You see those forms disintegrate, that yes, that also is me, the Lord says. I am the real Sad, and I am also the Asad, the unreal. We are talking about what? The real? Yes. What's the reality? There are two levels of understanding. The relatively real, yeah, this is going to stay for a couple of 1,000 years, or maybe 1,000,000 years, who knows? We don't know. But that reality is also called that reality of God. And the ultimate reality is God himself. That's the Sat, the existence. And God also is the unreality. It was here, it is gone. Los Angeles is here, and then suddenly a kind of a big one comes. We're waiting for that. What happened? Well, this is what happens. So I am all that, he says. Once you can understand this, tapamyam aham varsham nigriham utsajamicha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasachaham arjuna. I am this, I am all this. You can say, yeah. Now, what is presented here is the centrality of the divine in our lives, in everything that we do and that we experience. Maybe you don't even know. It's like, you're not aware of how you're digesting things. The things are being taken care of by your microbiome, gut bacteria. You don't really know. And you don't care also. Yeah, but only when something goes wrong, then you care. So, there is a God is in every aspect. God cares. So that we can worship him through all these forms. And how do we worship him? Just acknowledging that, just to understand that these are all his forms. Swami Vivekananda, in one of his poems, is saying, where do you go? Rejecting all these various forms. This is that God of love before you. Love these forms. And love comes when there is knowledge. When you know the universe, you know the forms, you will love the forms. Because you don't know, you don't love. So this hate and spite and envy is all the result of ignorance. And the result of knowledge is that deep abiding love. You will love this. And then it is actually through this love or this knowledge that this thing unknown becomes the known. Then you become what you are, an essential component of the divine, playing this part with God taking care of everything, every aspect of you. Yet, we are not aware of it. We hope that in time, by the grace of the divine, our inner eyes will be opened up and we can see clearly, and then we shall be free. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah. Krishna is God, like it states in the... Okay, we have... we have to follow the Bhagavad Gita. Anything else is just misleading. No, it's not misleading. You must understand there are certain things which are misleading. There are certain things which are leading you towards Bhagavad Gita. So take that. I wouldn't rather spend... Okay. Thank you. Please speak on whether life has a purpose, and if yes, what is the purpose? There is no purpose. The only purpose of life is to know itself. There it is. It's not going from one place to another. The only purpose of life is to know itself. And the basis of, as we have just said, the basis of your life is that God. Okay. Thank you very much. So here we are. Om, peace, peace, peace.